Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. This is the call-in show. Before I open the phone lines, though, I want to bring on Sylvia, who was a guest recently. She is a QHHT BQH practitioner. I'm sure most of you remember Sylvia. How are you doing, Sylvia?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm
Hello,
great,
everyone.
and I didn't forget to unmute you. I see you're coming through loud and clear.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, you contacted me earlier, and I thought, you know what? Why don't you just come on? You can be the first caller before I open up the phone lines, and because you had another session where it sort of backed up what you were saying the last time you were on about the Earth changes and everything.
Yes, word for word, which is very weird because that usually doesn't happen. Sometimes kind of sorta they'll match it in the same neighborhood, but this was word for word the same thing.
Oh wow! And this is a completely different person.
This is a lady in Virginia. Hello, Doris. That's my client. And what the funny thing is, we had so many synchronicities before the session. She usually is not as obsessed with red cardinals like I am. They just
Right.
visit me. And before her session today, she had a red cardinal, and it was very weird because she hadn't noticed them before. And today it came to her. And then during our session, that red cardinal sat in my window the whole session. And I showed it to her, like, so she could see herself that I wasn't making it up. I said, look. And she saw the bird, and we went on with the session. And then when we got to the part about, we asked several questions, and they started talking about the event and then the earth changes, and everything was exactly the same. And I thought that was fascinating.
Oh gosh, I love synchronicities. I love when things align like that, and it makes it seem like we're in a fantasy world sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is exactly what makes life worth living, and all the crap that we're going through worth living. When you
Yep,
get those little magic moments, oh, that's worth everything.
definitely. Can't agree more about that. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Do you want me to read? I took some notes from
Yeah,
her
please do.
session. Okay, so we had asked about the event, and they said it already started. It's been a series of waves that are amplifying in strength, stronger and stronger, as I'm sure you can feel everybody's losing their mind right now. And it's getting stronger and stronger. And I said, what's this purple wave that everybody's talking about? And they said, that's the big one. That's the final wave. And I said, is it, how far away is it? They said, it's close, but we can't pinpoint down the date because it's constantly in flux. It's changing, and it has already changed several times. They said it is getting closer, that everyone will experience it, whether they're awake or asleep. So nobody can deny it. Once it's here, everybody's going to know. They said that that's the final push, that that is the final choice point for those who are asleep. That pretty much it's, are you going to wake up or are you going to stay asleep? So are you going to stay on quote unquote old earth, or are you coming, to the higher vibrations with those of us that are doing the work? And yeah, and then they said, I asked, what's going on right now? Because it feels like something's happening, and it feels like something big's about to happen. They said it's a vibrational separation that is occurring right now, that the awake people are choosing it on a conscious level. So things that we're choosing right now, like, oh, I think I need to move, or I want to quit this job, or whatever. Those of us that are awake, we consciously know what's happening. So we are choosing, with our eyes open, but the people that are asleep are choosing on a soul level.
Oh
So
wow.
they're choosing to wake up or not, and that determines what road they're on. They said that there's a splitting of the roads occurring, and I said, how many splits are there? And they said there's only two, the 3D and then everybody else.
Oh.
So everybody has a choice, and right now is like the fire's getting hotter. So they said that it's like an alarm clock that's starting to go off, and depending on their level of resistance, will determine the severity of that, the push that they give themselves
Right.
to wake up. So it says the harder wake up calls are for those that are resisting but know that they need to wake up on a soul level. So a lot is being revealed. Basically, they're creating it. Their higher self is creating it on a soul level, saying, oh, okay, well, I know that he can't deny this, so I'm going to make this blow up. And then that cracks them awake, like an egg, kind of. So they're trying to hit themselves to crack open because they know it's like, hurry up, this is the last chance, hurry up.
And so it's more like if they're just like far from being ready to wake up, then their higher self makes a decision like, no, he's not ready. It'll just have to be later on in another incarnation or something along those lines. Or what's the alternative?
I had asked. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had asked. So like, say you get like a really hard crack. Me, I was fired. That was my crack. And so can you still refuse? Can you still resist even after that really painful crack? And they said, yes, you can resist, you can refuse. And I said, well, what happens to them? And they said, it's what you would call hell. So pretty much you stay in 3D because that's what hell is. I mean, 3D being, with chaos and war and hate and all that.
So they just choose to keep it all the same then, basically. Not the religious version of hell where it's...
No. It pretty much what's happening right now.
Right.
With like the fighting, the war, the fear. Some of them are resisting because they like it. They like the drama. They like the ego. They like what they're doing. And then others are resisting because they don't believe that it's possible for it to get better.
Right. And then there's people that are just fed up with it that might not be awake completely, but some kind of catalyst just might bring them to the point of waking up and moving on. Huh?
Yeah. So their soul is doing everything it can. Like, come on, pushing. And some are going to make it and some are going to choose to, nah, not this time.
Right.
Yeah. And I asked, what's the difference between a dimension and a timeline? And they said, you're in the fourth dimension right now, because we were wondering, are we like on a bridge from 3 to 4 or are we at 4 or what? And they said, you're in the fourth dimension, but you dip every now and then to the 5th. And I said, how do we know when we're in the 5th? And they said, bliss. That feeling of bliss, those days where everything is just like, okay, I can do this. This is amazing. I love being here. That's 5th. And
kind of tipping our toe in a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, it's giving you a taste, but you earned it. It's not that they just gave it to you. You earned it. And I said, well, how can we stay in 5th? And they said, as you continue to work on yourself, you progressively stay more and more. That becomes like your vibration where you just live at your dimension. And then they said, a timeline is a trajectory you are on caused by your choices at any given moment. So like if you choose to do something different, like not follow your patterns, and then, you know what, I'm going to forgive him, I'm going to forgive her, or, something like that, like something that you normally would not do, that changes your trajectory. The universe says, okay, we're going this way now, and everything changes.
I like that.
So you're so powerful. You get to choose.
Yeah.
And people think that stuff is like insignificant. Oh, I'm just not going to call them back, or I'm going to ignore them, or every little tiny choice is your road. You're paving your road with every decision. So there is no small choices. Everything means something, and it's either pushing you towards better or worse.
So if you have like your normal way of responding to something and you can respond in a more loving way, that's the whole butterfly effect. I mean, you can completely shift your reality with what seems like a small choice, but you responded in a way you wouldn't normally respond, and it was more loving, so therefore you sort of shift your trajectory. Kind of like if you barely turn the steering wheel of your car over time, that's going to make a big difference, but it might not seem like it at first.
Right, exactly. And I just had that experience really with a family member when we were just like not talking, and like they thought I was nuts because of, everything that I'm doing in my line of work. Yeah. And I had a heart-to-heart with them because I was speaking to them, but like I missed them. And I just didn't want to have like awkward moments, like if our kids were together or We had to be at a family function. So I had to talk with them and I forgave them. I said, you know what? You're doing the best you can and I'm doing the best I can. And I came to it from love. Like, I love you no matter what you think, and I
Mm-hmm.
forgive you, and I'm sorry for whatever I did, and I appreciate X, Y, and Z that you do. This is what I love about you. And oh my God, it just collapsed everything. All the ugliness went away. And now I don't have to feel awkward or like scared or nervous before a family function, or we're going to that birthday party and they're going to be there. Oh my God. And I don't have that anymore. So
Yeah,
it's
it is
just
sort of
such
hanging over you.
freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom. Oh, huge. So just let it go.
I like that. Letting go of all that baggage and yeah, because it does hang over you whether you realize it or not. And then even more so it comes to the forefront if you do have a family function and you know you're going to have to go face this person. So yeah, I've been dealing with the same thing and there's still some work even I need to do that I can see. I can just reach out to some family members that sort of thought I went crazy and just at least show them a little love and just don't bring anything up and don't cause a debate. You know what I mean? Just
Right.
give them some love, and that would be outside of what. Because I normally just steer clear. I don't like confrontation.
Me too.
So,
But no, you're limiting yourself and you're giving into the fear, because then you do feel fear because you're like, oh, I don't
it's
want to
true.
deal with them. I don't want to be around them. I don't even want to go to the birthday party. Well, why not? You're missing out. Your kids are missing out. Everybody's missing out.
That's so true. Yeah.
And your energy alone, that's another thing that came up in the session, that you don't even have to force feed anybody light. You can just be who you are unapologetically. You don't have to hide your YouTube show that you're watching or whatever.
Right.
Just be you, and you're teaching them by your bravery, by your example. That's it. That's all you have to do. There's nothing else you have to do.
I love that. Yeah, that's given me some things to work on away from the channel anyway.
Yeah, all of us. We're all going through that. So I had asked, they said about the road splitting, and then that your actions or the example, that's how we're guiding everybody. And I asked, they said that there's a gradual buildup in weather.
And weather? Did you
That
say it kind of
in
glitched a little
weather,
bit? Oh, okay.
yeah, gradual weather buildup, like crazy weather, but
Mm-hmm.
that it's going to start small. So it's going to seem like, oh, it's raining. It's, a regular day, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to gradually just get bigger and bigger and bigger. They said, be prepared. Most people are not prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Those of you who have a generator, make sure that it's working. And then I don't personally have a generator. So I asked, well, do you have to have a generator? And they said, no, but if you have one, even better, but you don't need one. It's not like something horrible is going to happen if you don't have a generator, because I don't have one. And they said, that's fine. They said, just make sure you have water, plenty of water,
Mm-hmm.
food that does not spoil. And they said like peanut butter, crackers, stuff like that is easy to make, that you don't need a stove or anything for.
Mm-hmm.
Just quick food, and food for your pets. Make sure you have enough for them. Toiletries,
Mm-hmm.
and stay indoors. Do not go outside. Do not mix with the messes. That you have more protection when you're inside.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is the same as the last time I was on. That there's going to be a mass power outage. That there's going to be a lot of wind and a lot of water, even in places where there's normally not water, which I remember in my other one. I'm in the desert. I'm in Arizona. So I thought, well, water can't hurt me. Well, if it's coming from the sky and it's crazy. so,
Right.
so
That
I
also
mean,
goes with the slosh thing that
oh yeah, Lori.
yeah, Lori was speaking about that she got in her session. So it's all jiving, I think. And I thought a lot about what you said when I was listening to her tell about what she had coming in. So a lot of the same information, and it's not to instill fear, but just to be prepared. From a very 3D
Yes,
standpoint. A lot of us are
yes,
working on our spiritual man, but we don't have bottled water and things like that, and it's just a good idea to keep it around anyway. These are things
yeah.
that you should do anyway. So
It can't spoil. Yeah, and
yeah.
it says unite with those you love. Like everybody stay inside, stay together. Like if you can be all together in a home, that's preferable. Shield yourself and you will be safe. So I said, how can those of us, say if you live alone, how can you feel safe? They said, you just intend it. Imagine that white light all around you and you shield yourself and you will be safe no matter what. They said that all know that all is well and that you are being protected. Just intend it and it's done. They said, do not watch TV. For those of you that still might have power or a generator, stay away from the TV because the media is going to be putting out stuff that is true. So don't watch TV, don't listen to media. They said, keep it off. Do not go outside. They kept saying that over and over. Don't go outside. Don't go outside. They said heavy wind, heavy rains, water. And I said, when? And then they said, when the weather is cooler, but not cold. Not hot, not cold, soon. So that makes me think of like September, kind of what Joseph Rain said.
Yeah, that's also what Nathan was saying. Something big was happening. September. He
Right,
said a
he did. He
lottery,
played
but
the September song. Yeah, he played the September song,
Yeah.
the Wind and Fire.
yeah,
And how funny the name of the group, Earth, Wind and Fire.
yeah. And we were even talking about whether it was some kind of physical, because we still don't know if it's some kind of physical lottery or if it's some kind of like spiritual lottery. So, he just got the messages, and we were sort of just kind of picking through it and trying to figure out. But something is coming, and I believe.
Yeah,
that.
you can feel it. It's amping up. And I said, how long will it last? They said approximately 2 to 3 weeks, that it depends on how we react. Again, like the other one.
Right.
And have enough supplies that last you that length of time so that you can stay safe inside. And I said, well, how are we going to know? Can you give us like a hint or a warning? And he said, you will know that you're just going to get a feeling, but you can ask. Just ask God to give you a knowing and you will receive it. And they said that they'll warn us at least 1 full week ahead so that we can gather supplies. But they also want you to prepare mentally, emotionally, not just physically. They want you to mentally prepare because most of us, well, those of us that haven't been in like law enforcement or military that don't know how to deal with chaos, I was trained to do it, but for everybody else that is not, when you see it, it is very contagious. So keep your wits about you. Keep your head cool because you are being called upon right now to be a leader and you lead everyone. You calm them down. You tell them what to do. Because when people go into that fear mode, they blank out. You have to tell them, hey, call 911, get a blanket, do this, do that, close the window. You have to order them because they can't think. They're frozen.
I completely understand that.
So
yeah, for those who's
that are
coming in
listening
late,
to this show are going to be called to be the leaders. We're going to have to take over.
I was trying to see your YouTube channel is Odyssey of Enlightenment, right? Isn't it named after your?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
This is Sylvia, you guys. There's some people that hopped in late and they're like, "Who's this talking?" This is Sylvia. She was just on a few days ago. She's got the YouTube channel Odyssey of Enlightenment. You can actually check. Her links are in the video. Since this was a call-in show, I didn't put her links in the thing, but you can either hop in after you get off the phone with me and add them below, or you guys can go back a couple of videos if you're wanting to check it out. She was just on the show. When was it? It wasn't even a week,
that
was it?
That was the beginning of this month, a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, it seems like you were here
I believe
just
it was
recently.
on the 13th, maybe.
Oh, wow. Time's flying. Wow. It seems like it was just a
right?
few days
I
ago.
blinked and it's the freaking end of June and I'm like, what? 4th of July is next week? No way.
It's crazy. Yeah, and you've actually been on twice. So it's wild that it's
I know. We blinked. I like last I remember it was May. And I'm like, what? What's happening? Actually, that was April. Even faster. So see, it's just, if you watch the old video that I did with you with the weather changes, it's the same thing. It's just the same thing all over again. That's why I was so excited to message you and let you know, like validation. And then that red bird showing up twice. That was so cool.
Oh, definitely. And that's one of the reasons why I got so into Dolores Cannon's work, is because she'd be on one side of the planet and be getting information from a client, and then on the other side of the planet, they'd pick up the conversation. I'm like, what? Dude, this is
Yeah,
amazing.
that's exciting. There's no limits. We have no limits, only what you put on yourself. That's
I
it.
agree. Yeah,
And
totally.
remember that when this hits the fan, remember who you are. Remember that we have no limits. Remember how powerful we are.
Oh, thank you so much, Lori. She just put your link in there. So yeah, that's Sylvia's
Oh,
channel.
thank you, Lori.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, I'm
Uh,
amazed it was so long ago, but yeah, I guess time flies. Wow.
oh, it's an illusion.
Well, definitely keep us posted. You can always come on here and talk, and we love
I
hearing the
will.
information. So, and you
Thank you
guys
so
check out her
much.
channel. You put out
Yes.
videos almost every night. It seems like.
Oh, the runes. Yeah, I need to
Yeah.
do a live. They've been wanting me to do a live. They've been pushing me, and I'm like, I've been doing a bunch of sessions, so I haven't been able to. But
Yeah.
yeah, I need to put out a
Yeah.
video. But
Lori
thank you
says she
so
loves your.
much.
She says she loves your daily runes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for allowing me this chance to share this with everybody. It's such important information that we need to spread so that we won't be scared. Nobody be scared when any of this happens.
Right. I
Know
think
that
most of
it's
us are going
for
to be
us.
excited. We're going to be like, here it is. This is
Yes.
what we talked about. It's
Yay.
here.
The purple wave. Yeah.
Awesome. So, yeah. So, thanks so much for coming on, and we'll have you back soon. Thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you.
Lots of
Bye,
love and light
everybody.
to you.
You too. Bye.
And bye bye. That is Sylvia. I didn't want to butcher her last name. Morero, I think. Um, I should have asked her, but yeah, Odyssey of Enlightenment. Yeah, Moleda. So that is wonderful. I love getting QHHT information, and I love getting, or BQH even. Let me figure out how to open up the phone lines. I was trying to listen to her at the same time as get on, because I know there was a setting where I can switch the message to an online show message. I have two versions. One of them says that, you know, check back when we're doing a live show. And I'm such a noob to this, I cannot figure out where I did that at. So if you call and I'm already on the call with somebody, it's going to say, call back during a live show, that it's not a live show right now. And I'll have to figure out where that is, because I thought it was right here in the settings and I don't see it. Oh, you know what? I bet I know where it is. But I do have the phone lines open up if anybody wants to call in. Let me put the number on the screen. It's in the description box as well. Let me see. Where is that number? There we go. It's 781-4-SHANE-C, or 781-474-2632. And let me see if I think I know where that one setting is now. It's in, pretty sure now. So shout out, lots of love to everybody in the chat. Aloha, call in if you have a phone. Actually, you know what? Let me open up Facebook Messenger as well, in case you guys are overseas. I can open that up and make sure that you guys can call in through Facebook Messenger as well. Ooh, lots of messages. It's been a while since I've been on here. I think the last call-in show. All right, let's see what I got going here. Is that... I hear it ringing. I don't see it, though. Ah, there we go. Oh, I just got to the screen and it disappeared. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, please call back again. I guess it sent you to voicemail. Sorry, I had too many windows open here. Okay, this is Facebook. I can close this one. And, yeah, sorry, I will get better at this. I just need more. You think 2 screens would be enough, but evidently I need more than 2. So. Let's see. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Lori. Yes, I saw that email you sent me, Sherry. I didn't get to listen to it yet. I was wanting to, and so yeah, yeah. It's so funny when I was looking up available numbers. Here we go. I was able to tie that in, and I got a 908. This is Shane. Welcome to the broadcast.
Hey Shane, it's Carolina. How are you?
How are you doing? I'm doing great.
I'm doing good. I just wanted to call. I called you, was it Friday, I guess? I don't even know what time it is anymore.
From New Jersey, right?
Yeah, Jersey, yep. So what Sylvia was just saying, absolutely. Like, I absolutely feel it.
Yeah, me too. And the Schumann resonance has been going nuts. We've got a full moon that officially starts in just a few hours. So, yeah, I feel it.
Dude, my head, it feels like a balloon. My body feels, I don't know. I feel the waves, like, flowing through me.
You feel the head pressure too?
That is serious head pressure. I don't know what to do with myself. Like, I'm like, should I take a nap? Should I drink more water? I don't know what to do. Breathe. Honestly, I think breathing is the only thing that helps.
Oh, wow. It was like, I was getting ready for the show and I was like, man, I just feel so tired. And then it was like about an hour ago, I started feeling like I drank a pot of coffee. I was just like, what? I'm just zinging. And then like the show was coming up and I was like, I need to take a nap again. I'm just like this roller coaster ride of either feeling like I'm zingy or I need to take a nap. So yeah, I've been feeling it too.
Yeah, honestly, you know what it kind of feels like me? Like, I don't know if you've ever been like on a smaller boat that, you know, not the sea is very rough, but it's a little bit more shaky than like a bigger ship, you would say. I kind of feel like I'm on a small boat, just kind of like rocking in the middle of the ocean.
I agree. Yeah,
that's kind of what it feels like.
So what's the
I don't
weather
know.
like there in New Jersey tonight? What's it like?
It's been up and down. Today it's been just very overcast, cloudy, a little bit of rain. We had a couple storms the other night. It's been hot and then a little bit colder. It's all over the place.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are going through that whole thing. Like it got really cold. I had actually turned the air conditioner down because it was working a little too well. And I went outside and it actually felt nice outside. I'm like, wow, it actually cooled off. And then the next day it was burning up again. I'm like, wow, it just can't make up its mind here.
Scorching. And especially when I'm in the sun, I'm pretty fair skinned. So if I'm in the sun, I just feel it. Like, especially midday, I cannot be out in the sun. As much as I love the sun, I can't. I just can't do it. It feels like it's burning.
It is. It's those UVC rays that Mr. MBB333 talks about. It's like you can't be out there more than a few minutes, and it actually starts doing damage to your skin. It's nothing like we've experienced lately.
No, it's not. Actually, my arms are two different colors. The top is very tan, and the bottom is completely white.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of drivers have that too, where one arm's like really dark and the other one that's sort of in the shade more is not quite as dark.
I have gardener's tan. I don't know what it is, but
right.
Whatever you want to call it. But no, it's definitely, I feel it, and I feel like I'm straddling two worlds because things keep pulling me into the 3D, and I'm just like, guys, this is all an illusion. Like, I've already let it all go, you know? And
yeah,
the other part of me is in the whole 5D mentality and consciousness, and it's a straddle. But now with these waves, it's like I feel like we really have kind of a choice to make, you know?
Yeah. So do you have water stocked up and things like that?
No, but I'm definitely getting on that this week.
Yeah, I don't either. I keep a few jugs here, but I go through them just in a couple of days, so I wouldn't really say that's stocking up. Thank you, Sherry. So yeah,
no,
it's I need to keep a bunch of jugs around, I guess.
No, absolutely. And I mean, I lived through Sandy here, and I remember how bad it was, and even our power went out for I think it was a week and a half, but we got lucky.
Yeah.
We were lucky it was only out for that long because Sandy completely just devastated New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
So I remember. Yeah, I remember. But, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I just know I've had my own personal event and Dark Night of the Soul and all of that. And I'm thankful and grateful for it all because, you have to go through it and see how this is all an illusion and how it plays out. And, but
Definitely.
It's just, I completely agree with everything Sylvia is saying, and I've been feeling it a lot. And I've been seeing a lot of license plates with codes on them, which I'm still trying to decipher. But
yeah, and it's like man, this whole thing just seems so orchestrated sometimes once you start to just look at it that way and see the synchronicities happening and the people you meet and realize nothing's accidental or coincidental anymore. You start to see through the veil a little bit to see, like, this is orchestrated, you know?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, the veil blew open for me at one point, and it was last fall. And I started waking up like years ago. It was about 5 years ago, but it blew apart for me last fall, and I had to go through a lot of attacks and all sorts of things. And thank God I found my way out of that. You kind of realize you are the light in the dark and the calm in the storm when you're literally in the middle of a storm and you see people transforming into the entity that's attached to them or in them, or it's wild.
Definitely. Well,
it's a wild ride, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful, and I'm excited, and yeah.
it
I'm
sounds
happy,
nice there.
you know.
I hear birds.
You know what? I'm always listening to the birds. There's a lot of birds, and a lot of fireflies this year too.
Yeah,
I'm looking
I saw
at them.
something on
They
the
kind of
corner
look
of
like
my
glitter.
I saw something on the corner of my eye last night, and then one of my kids were like, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "What was it? Was it a UFO? No, a firefly." And I'm like, "Oh, oops." I just saw it on the corner of my eye. I saw a flash, and I was like, "Did I really see that?" You know, and I've been seeing them like all year round, but you know, I know it's not fireflies all the time, but I'm never looking right at it. But they, you know, my daughter was like, "No, it was a firefly." I'm like, "Oh, okay, lightning bolt."
No, I know what you mean. Sometimes even like during the day, I'll see like a flash like next to my eye, and I'll look over and I'm like, "There's nothing there."
Right. Yeah, and that's been amping up too. Even shadowy figures.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I'm like, wow, it's like something's going on, but it's cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, I love it too. I think once you realize that there's really nothing to fear except fear itself, and it's
Exactly.
just it's liberating. It's liberating, you know.
It really is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, knowing those things out of your hand that you don't even need to worry about. That's you know, there's a higher agency at work. I'll call it that because, you know, I know people talk to angels and it works. People talk to God and it works. People talk to Jesus and it works. The Holy Spirit and it works. And I'm like, look, there's clearly some agency or something up there that's helping us out here, and they don't seem to mind what you call them. They just are happy to help out, and they love us. So, you know, I'll leave it at that.
No, I agree. There are extra dimensional, interdimensional, special, divine, holy, however you want to term it. Yep. It's all one at the end of the day.
Totally
but
agree.
They had to personally show me, girl, you don't need to worry and carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Just focus on you. Because for 27 years, almost 30, actually like over 27 years, when I started waking up, I was 27. That's when I dug into all the dark spots, and I just saw the world for what it is, like in the depth of the darkness. And then they had to show me, like, all right, you know, you have your free will, do what you have to do, but we're going to show you at the end of the day, there's nothing for you to worry about.
Yeah.
You know, it's all divine, it's all under control, and, you know, just be loving, love yourself, and that's it.
Yeah, and ask for help, you know?
Yeah, of course. Oh, and be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Just be you. Absolutely.
Totally.
No, it's amazing. So thank you for doing your show, and thank you for having all the wonderful guests you do have on there, because it really makes me feel like I'm not alone in this, because surrounding me, people are loving and amazing, but they don't really see things from my perspective, or, you know, a higher, different perspective. So
I totally agree. Thank you so much for calling in, Carolina, and check back in with us. We like to know what's going on in Jersey up there.
Of course,
nice.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Shane.
No problem.
Have a
Lots of
wonderful
love
night.
and light to you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Carolina from Jersey. Wonderful. And love to hear those birds in the background. I've been noticing birds seem to have come back, but now it's been so hot. It's like they're all, they're all gone now. It's like just too hot for them, I guess, or something. I'm not really sure. But thank you, Kate. And thank you, Biker Babe and Lori and everybody. You guys are so awesome. Love doing this. And yeah, if I had $1 million, I'd give it right back. I've been talking to my kids about ever since I had Nathan on. I'm like, what do you guys think about getting an RV and just traveling across the country and stuff? And of course, my daughter's like, I'll be too claustrophobic and stuff. I'm like, well, you know, it's not like we're going to be driving the entire time. It's like, Let me turn the, okay, sorry if you tried to call. I just put the phone lines back on. I was busy talking and forgot. But phone lines are open if you'd like to call in, 781-4-SHANE-C or 781-474-2632. So, Bill 788 passed here in Oklahoma today, legalizing medical marijuana for use. I know a lot of people are happy about that. My wife was even telling me that people that came into the restaurant where she works was telling her that they weren't even handing out the voting slip for that particular bill or whatever. Forgive me if I mess up my terminology. I'm really not into politics at all. So bill, paper, whatever they give you, ballot. You had to actually ask for it to be able to vote for it. So they were doing their darndest to keep it from happening, but it passed. It passed, and I don't know how well. Okay, here we go. This is Shane. Welcome to the broadcast. How are you?
Hi, Shane. This is Darla. I'm great. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Where are you calling from, Darla?
Calling from Michigan, near the Great Lakes.
Oh, nice. That's up where, near Biker Babe. It's up there by the Great Lakes.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm kind of close to the city, but 20 minutes from the city and about 30 minutes from Lake Huron.
Ah, sweet. Yeah, I heard about some weird water anomalies happening up there. Did you hear about that?
Recently, I didn't see it, and I heard about somebody seeing rainbows here, too, weird rainbows around the sun.
Oh, yeah.
What did you hear about the water anomaly?
I believe it was probably on Mr. MBB 333. He's sort of my go-to watchman that keeps an eye on all that, and then people send him pictures from all over the place. So he's sort of my one-stop shop. And then his website has links to like everything I want to keep an eye on, like the Schumann resonance and everything, which I just noticed that just kind of it was still amping up since the last time I showed it, but it kind of died off here in the last few hours. So I've been keeping an eye on it. And I think the water was retreating, was it? I think the water came in further than it had ever come in. And I can't remember which lake either, because I know there's 3 up there, right? Or at least there was last time I looked.
Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, which we share with Ohio, and then Lake Superior, which is further up north, kind of near the UP, the Upper Peninsula.
Ah, okay.
So there's 4 Great Lakes, really. It's the most, it's the largest when you put them together, most fresh water on Earth.
So let me ask you, Darla, have you been feeling any of the head pressure or any symptoms that's out of the norm?
Yeah, I've been getting headaches, which I notice I get a lot during the solar flares and Schumann increases. Headaches and sometimes slight nausea, a little excitement and irritability, crazy dreams.
Oh yeah, I shared a dream yesterday. It was pretty crazy. What types of? Can you share one of your dreams? A crazy.
Yeah. Well, are you familiar with Marina Jacoby?
I saw her on when I was looking into the code, the mother to brothership code from Neo Glimmer, and I saw an episode where he was on her show. So I've seen her, but I don't know her really well. So
oh, she's great. I'd highly recommend the Quantum Manifestation series she does on YouTube. But I had a session with her, and she asked me if I had an abortion, and I said, well, I've never been pregnant, at least not that I know of. Mm-hmm. And she saw a little boy in my energy field, and 2 nights in a row, 2 nights ago, and then the next night, I dreamt about this baby that apparently I have. And so I messaged her and asked her if he could be mine in like another dimension. And she says, if you thought of it, then it has to be so, because you can't think of something that doesn't already exist.
Yeah.
But that's not the weirdest. I had a dream where I was lying on I was in another planet. I don't know if it was, honestly, I don't know if it was a planet, a moon, a star system, but I was laying in the fetal position, naked in a crater. Mm-hmm. And I could feel the coolness of the air. Like, I don't normally feel in dreams, but in this instance, I could feel the coolness of the air on my left shoulder. And then there was
the
a
crater
sun.
like the size of your body, or a little bit bigger, or was it really big? Sorry to interrupt. I'm getting
Oh,
this
no
visual
problem.
of,
Actually, that's a good question.
yeah.
I would say the crater was about the size of my body. It wasn't very huge at all. It was almost, I didn't even think about that before, but yeah.
That brings the
just
thought to
cradled
mind
me.
of the, the Terminator, where they traveled through time, and this ball would sort of deliver them there, and it would create this crater that they were laying in. And when you said that, that's the visual I got, because they have to be naked when they go through the time portal or whatever, so they end up in this, laying in this crater naked. So when you said that, it's totally what came to mind. So sorry to interrupt.
And was that, no worries, I'm glad you did, because I've been trying to find answers about this. I haven't heard of anybody who's had an experience like this. Was the crater, that was about the size of their body then too?
Yep, it was just like there was a ball around their body in the fetal position, and the crater was about the size of that, I mean, even if they stretched out, they'd probably hang out of the side of it. So it was like just the size of their body. So yeah, that's wild.
Sounds exactly like this. Yeah, and I was laying on my right side in the fetal position, and above me was a sun, and the sun was moving back and forth over me, and then it would stop directly above me, and I would feel the warmth of the sun on my left shoulder where the coolness of the air had just been. Like, I could feel it just as I could feel right now if I touched something. I mean, I could feel it. Mm-hmm. The odd thing is it looked like it was nighttime, or like 9:30 on a summer night. Like, it was not daylight, but yet the sun, you would think the sun being right above me would make the whole place up, but it wasn't. It was like a sun that was scanning me or downloading something. And it was doing this for me specifically, because it would go back and forth, and it'd stop right over me. But yeah, it looked like it was still nighttime.
So you could feel the warmth as it's passing over you, though?
Yeah, I could feel the warmth as it stopped above me. Wow. So when it would move, the coolness of the air would come back onto my shoulder. Then it would come back over me and stop, and then the warmth of the sun would be on my shoulder.
That's wild. And you were just laying there and taking it all in?
Yeah, I was just lying there, and the only thing it seemed very barren. Like, there wasn't anything on this planet. There were no buildings, maybe a rock formation or something off in the distance. But
yeah,
it was the most surreal dream I've ever had, and I felt I don't know. Yeah.
Well, maybe some of the listeners can chime in the chat as to whether they've had anything like that. But that's a totally awesome dream, though. I mean, I had a dream I was like smoking weed with rappers and stuff yesterday, and that was exciting. but this, and I had no idea they were voting for the marijuana thing yesterday. I must have been picking up everybody's wanting the bill to pass or something here in Oklahoma. I have no idea, because I don't smoke it anymore. I haven't smoked in a very long time, so it's like, for me to dream about that just out of the clear blue was just sort of weird. But this is way cooler. This is like, time travel and stuff. Did it seem like Earth, though?
Where the crater was?
Mm-hmm.
No, definitely not.
Wow.
No, it felt like it was another planet, or possibly the moon, but I feel like a planet, or like Pluto or something that was downgraded from a planet.
Right, that's awesome.
But it's just a guess, because there's nothing there. It was like, and I didn't see any other beings there either. It was just me.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was just me. I actually used to smoke a lot of marijuana. I was a chronic smoker, but when I was smoking, I wouldn't remember my dreams. So I quit almost 6 months ago, just because my dreams are so important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't have remembered the dream I just told you, probably, if I was smoking.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I've remembered more dreams since I quit smoking, too, which is a huge part of it. But it's not, I think, you have more right at first, like when you first quit, because your body is, adjusting to it, so it seems to remember more. Because it seems like I had a lot more dreams right in the beginning. Now I don't seem to dream as much, or remember them at all. But, and I certainly don't have, I don't know, that's just awesome. going to another
There's
planet
a
and stuff.
dreaming herb that's supposed to be really good. Yeah, and there's another dream I had around that same time, maybe a month or two later, that it was the only time I remember dreaming about being in a spaceship. And all I remember is there was some unseen entity, a being across from me with a long, slender probe type thing that they were sticking into my hand and pulling the flesh back. I did not feel that, but it freaked me out. So I went from being inside the spaceship to outside and flying around in circles, and this being was chasing me, and then I woke up.
Oh, so it was like they didn't seem like benevolent beings. It seemed, or do you think you were just freaked out by it?
I could have just been freaked out by it. I don't know why they were peeling my skin back. It was almost like I was a robot, like they were fixing me or something. I don't know, because the way they were peeling my flesh back on my hand, and I didn't see any blood. It was like...
That's freaky, though.
It was really freaky. So I didn't stick around to find out how benevolent they were.
Right. You didn't have any scars or sores the next day.
No,
Hand, right?
I looked for that too. No, I didn't. No.
That's
So
cool.
maybe it was my cyborg they were fixing.
Yeah, it could be. Do you feel like a connection to the stars or to extraterrestrials or anything?
Yeah, definitely. When I was younger, this was probably one of the things that started I was always a seeker. And when I was 5, I knew I was on this planet for some big purpose, that I wasn't just born to die, that there was some greater purpose. And I didn't know what it was. So I thought, oh, maybe I'll be here to experience the end of the world with everyone else, just because I was trying to think of the biggest thing.
Right.
But, yeah, I had an experience where I was the universe. I was the stars, and I was the whole universe, and it was a fleeting moment where I understood that I was connected to everything. Mm-hmm. But I've always felt like I wanted to go home, and I love the earth. Don't get me wrong. I do what I can to protect it. I rescue dogs and find them foster. I'm a foster for dogs and some cats, mostly dogs, and find them homes and every living being. I catch spiders and release them outside. I don't kill anything. So I love the earth, but I do feel like maybe I could have come from
right. It just doesn't feel like
another
home.
planet.
Right.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us
Yeah.
have that. The starseeds have that feeling of this not being home, like being on the mission here for some higher purpose, but this isn't, what we would call home. And
So
I
they
certainly
still feel
that.
connected to the planet, right? You feel that way?
Yeah, definitely. Yep, I feel that higher purpose, but it doesn't feel like home. But it could just be, all the bullying and wars and all of that. That's so foreign to me. I can see if all of that changed it feeling a lot more like home. So I don't really know. I'm kind of on the fence about it.
That's what I love about you and your show. I accept nor deny anything unequivocally. Not at all. I think maybe not. When I was younger, I believed so many different things. What's to say now if I form a rigid belief that's not going to change later? So
Yeah.
I try not to have any rigid beliefs and think, I don't accept or deny anything unequivocally. And when you said you're on the fence, I always feel like a fence sitter.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And I think it helps me connect with other people, too, because when people come to you with rigid beliefs, you can take them seriously instead of feeling like you have to defend your own rigid belief that doesn't align with theirs. You can say, well, let me try to view it from their point of view. And because that is, even if you don't, believe exactly as they believe, you can seriously consider it, because a lot of people just don't consider it. They're so busy debating and proving their own point that they're not sure of, if they were honest about it, that they don't even consider the other person's point, and then it causes separation. And I think, if we could all reach that point where we rose above our belief systems, I do have some beliefs. Like, I know we're getting help somehow, but what it is, I don't know. I know the Mandela effect's happening, and I've got ideas that, it is that benevolent force doing it, but I don't know for sure. So I'm really open-minded about any of that stuff that I don't know, and I think it's a great way to be.
Yeah, well, you're only doing yourself a favor by being able to expand your current understanding of all things. and
Totally.
relate to other people. I think there's a certain amount of truth to everything. It's just varying perspectives, and to what degree is that perspective in alignment with the 0 point? It's either closer in alignment or further out of alignment, but there's still some truth to it, even if it's not your truth.
Oh, totally. Totally. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Darla, and sharing your dreams. Those are exciting.
Thank you. I'm glad I had a chance to connect with you, and I really enjoy your show.
Thank you so much. You have a good one now.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was Darla from the Great Lakes area, Michigan. Wonderful. Let me turn the phone lines back on. Yeah, I know somebody else tried to call. I forgot to turn the phone lines off. Of course, you can also call if you are abroad. You can call through Facebook Messenger if you've already... Oh, I got some friends requests here. Let me see. Just in case somebody's trying to be my friend to call in. Okay, if you sent me a friend request, I just accepted them. I can go back later and get rid of the spammers. You can usually tell they only have one picture. It's usually provocative, and if you don't catch them, they'll usually say, "Hey, would you like my friend's page?" Makes it easy to weed them out. So you just have to wait for them to post something for you to go like one of their friends' page, which their friends' page usually only has one provocative picture as well. But you know, that's usually how it works. So, all right. So phone lines are open. You can call. Oh, there we go. Oh, I got 2 calls at once. Sorry, I've got to go with the 931 area code first. Welcome to the broadcast. This is Shane. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Shane. This is one of your longtime followers on your broadcast here. My name is Jack Argyle. I go by Stephen Argyle in the chat room.
Oh, welcome, Stephen.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for listening.
Well, I'm here in Tennessee, and of course we've been having some bad storms here all night long and all day today, and still going on. But anyway, besides that, as far as the spirituality, you all have really helped me a lot along with it. I've been into it pretty deeply for the past 4 years, and spirituality-wise, I have seen some awesome, physical visions, in the sky. And the recent one that happened like a couple of weeks ago is I sit out in the sun. I hear you all talk about Mr. MBB. I follow him too. Mm-hmm. And about the UVC B and A and B, and now the C rays are going through the roof. Mm-hmm. As I said a couple of weeks ago, I was sitting out here in the sun. I sit out in it all day long, and all I use is coconut oil on me anyway. But
oh yeah, virgin coconut oil, that's good stuff.
Yeah, it is. It keeps the skin nice and moisturized, and it actually amplifies the sun UV rays some. But I don't burn. I'm one of them people that don't burn. I'll be out in it at 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night, all day long, nonstop. But anyway, as I was doing this a couple of weeks ago, the sun started strobing, just like a strobe light. And it was wild. It was totally wild. And I looked around me, and it wasn't affecting the ground, the trees, or nothing like that. Like objects around me were not flashing. It was just the sun, and it was just like it was directed at me. And so,
what about the sky? Did the sky seem to flicker with it?
No, not the sky. Only the sun. And like I said, it was like it was just directed at me. Wow. And now what I researched about this it is one of the parts of the ascension process, which I've been really into also. And I just wondered if you ever heard about that or anything like that. And not only that, that's not all that I've seen. I've had these over the past year or so, have these they're almost like swords, like when I'm sitting out in the sun, mm-hmm. On the lounge chair, they're like indigo blue swords that just shoot down right next beside of me. And they'll actually light the ground up where, they've come from the sky and just enter into the ground. And That's just another awesome experience. There's been so many that I've went through over, these past few years of, getting into this. And
you know what came to mind when you said that is some of that old Egyptian art. I happened to look at it when I was looking into the Law of One and the original, the Ra, how he said, that group said they gave him a bad name. He wasn't really trying to be the sun god for them to worship. He was really like a brother to us or whatever. But in some of that old art, it shows at the end of the sun rays, it shows, what do you call those things? Ankhs, where they look like crosses with a ring at the top. They almost look like swords.
Right, yeah.
And it shows those at the end of the sun rays, man. And it's making me, when you said that, I'm like, wow, it sounds like, because those kind of look like swords. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. They do, and they're like I say, they're an indigo blue color. And I've also read that those are also letting you know that the angels are next to you and such. See, so
have you seen the footage of the sun flashing that's been going around the internet?
Have I seen what?
There's actually a video where it shows there was this huge outdoor festival and the sun was flickering, and you can see everybody looking up at it like, what? Why is the sun flickering?
Yeah.
It's not quite like that, though?
I did see that video. I sure did.
Oh, okay, because it's hard to tell if the cameras, because, with it flashing, the camera's sort of adjusting, so it's hard to tell what's really flashing, but you can see when they point it right at the sun, it clearly looks like it's flashing,
Yeah, but here's the thing, Shane. I've also noticed that certain phones or cameras will, when it overexposes or something, a lens in it, and the lens in the camera will actually flash like that. But so it's also like if you was to see it there with your naked eye, like I seen it a couple of weeks ago, then it's definitely confirmed for your own self. I mean, like I say, I think a lot of this stuff is individual. I believe a lot of the awakening, all these waves, to me, I don't know, I might be wrong, but I believe they are going on at an individual type basis.
I agree.
Instead of everybody all at once, these waves are coming in, and people with the right mindset are accepting them waves, and they're seeing these waves. It may be a big collective that everybody is seeing them now because of where they're at, on their ascension process and stuff like that. I may be wrong. I don't know.
I say everything has led me to believe it's an individual process, that we're all going through similar things, but yeah, there is an individual element to it for sure, man. I would totally agree with that.
Right.
Even with the whole Mandela effect, I mean, you can see how different people see different things. I mean, even within the people that say, yes, the Mandela effect's for sure happening, I see it's happening, even those people, all of us, we don't agree on all the changes, I mean, there's still people that's like, no, there's always been 6 people in the JFK car, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing that you can see it that way, because I vividly remember 4 my whole life, and this is so new to me, but it's so, yeah, man, it's everything points to an individual experience for sure. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah, that's another thing with the JFK car. I mean, they got in the museums the exact identical replica of that car. Yeah. And it's not a 6-seater car,
right.
So,
totally.
I don't. Yeah.
They're
totally.
Just there's enough there to see that we're not crazy, and they're like, look, why would they put the wrong car in the museum? Because
exactly. And there's so many instances like that. I mean, I can't sit here and think of them all, but what I'm talking about.
Yeah, totally. There was even an FBI reenactment of it, or a secret one of them that they reenacted it, and they only had a 4-seater car. And then and that was when I first looked at it. And then there was this other one that popped on the scene where they did have a 6-seater car, and it's like, this didn't even exist when I was first looking at this, So
right, yep. Yeah. Another thing I've also been into heavily over the past 4 years. Because for the past 4 years, I've been in the sun every single day because I use the sun as a catalyst for my ascension and awakening and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the clouds formations that I see are just absolutely. You hear that big thunderclap?
Oh, is that what that was? Yeah.
That's a big thunderclap. But looking towards where the sun's setting, the sky is just multitude of colors. It's absolutely beautiful. So.
Well, let me ask you this while I got you on here. If you spend a lot of time outside, have you noticed the formations of clouds are different than they were even 10 years ago?
Yes, that's what I was going to get into, and I'm going to send some of them to Mr. MB333 because he's got a blog there or whatever it is that you can send all them photos, and there's some wild photos, but I see them all the time. And you know how he says that naturally the clouds don't make, square clouds or formations. And I've seen that one video he had a month or two ago where somebody took a photo of what looked like a UFO. It had like blocks in it. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Yep, I saw that.
I've seen the same thing twice here, but I didn't get any photos of them because my mind right now is where nothing can surprise me. So it didn't, I seen it. I thought, well, that's cool. And, I should have took pictures of it. I was thinking when I was sitting there watching, I should take a picture of it, but I didn't. So.
Yeah, totally. I've seen that same thing.
That is something that's way out of the ordinary.
Yeah, so have you, I don't find many people that have noticed this, but have you noticed where sometimes there'll be a layer of clouds and you'll see upper clouds like spilling over the edge of the lower clouds, almost like milk pouring over the edge?
Yep.
That's weird, man. It's like...
No.
Yeah, it's weird because there wasn't anything like... Now, if you get a time-lapse footage of that happening, it's a lot more apparent that you can see it like pouring over the edge because it happens a lot faster. But if you're just outside staring at the sky like we both do, it doesn't take long to notice that, dude, clouds are pouring over the lower clouds. It's like completely unnatural.
Yep.
I don't know if it's man-made or part of this ascension process, but I can say that I've stared at clouds my whole life, and I see things I've never seen in my whole life happening a lot.
Right. Yeah, it's going on. It's definitely going on. There's no doubt about it. It is happening. And I believe, like many say, that UFOs hide in them clouds. And Mr. MB3's got one that they put out just a few weeks ago that is very, very wild looking. And you can't hardly see it, but it's almost a octagonal shaped tube UFO. Have you seen that one that he posted to somebody?
That's amazing. Yeah, it's really convincing.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. That's it's stealthed in there real good, but with Photoshop you can pull its design right out with no problem. So
definitely. Yeah, there's been a few times, I don't know if this has happened to you, where I'll go outside and I have a big ring around me, and I have no idea why it's. I don't know if I've thought, am I being targeted? Is it my alien friends up there, like, parking a big ship there, and it's like creating this ring that I can't see the actual ship, but I'm seeing the ring that it's creating. But it's several times now I've gone out, I'd say probably half dozen times, where the circle is centered on my house up there, and it's like, and it's huge. I'm talking like, a few miles in diameter. It's not just a ring right over my house. I'm talking it's a huge size ring, and I even pointed it out to my son. He's like, "What the heck?" But it's easy to miss if you're not paying attention.
You're not the only one. Trust me, I've seen it. I've seen so many amazing, absolutely amazing, out of this world stuff that has never, ever. I'm 53 years old, so I'm seeing stuff now for the past few years that I've never, ever seen before in the sky. And not just in the sky, just around me. And, when you when you go through the ascension process, your frequency raises. You're moved up above everything. Everything has a different look to it.
Yeah, even the rainbow essence in the clouds, the iridescence that you see when you're looking close to the sun. It's wild.
Yeah, like right right now I'm looking at it what is very abnormal. Look into the sky. The sun's already went down, but the sky is just lit up with the most beautiful, awesome, like hardly ever seen colors. It's just wild.
It's a wonderful time to be alive, huh?
And you're not kidding. All right, Shane, well, I'll let you go, and I absolutely appreciate your show. And every time I get an alert from you on my phone, for some reason, it's already been 2 hours ago, so I missed the whole show.
I put one out early tonight, so that's a good idea. I need to start doing that a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you listening, man. I mean, the show is you guys too. I mean, it wouldn't be very much fun sitting here by myself, so I appreciate you watching and being a part of the community, man. It's wonderful.
Absolutely, no problem.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
Keep up the great work, Shane. Love you, man. Bye.
Love you too, buddy. Bye-bye. Wonderful, man. It's exciting. I'm glad I'm able to do this. I'm going to ring on incoming calls. Sorry, I got a couple calls at once, and it won't let me pick up. I wish I could pick them up and just put them on hold, and you guys can listen from hold like a real radio station, but I'm just sort of doing it the free way that I have available to me, and I'll just work with what I got going on here. So lines are open, 781-474-2632 or 781-4-SHANE-C. Yeah, I agree, Lori. A great caller. And, you guys, don't be shy about calling in, because I know you guys have lots of great stories. And I'd like to really do one about, Sherry's kind of got me interested in the whole thing about ghosts and more paranormal topics. And, I mean, even if you wanted to call about that tonight, that's totally cool. But I've always loved the topic. Pretty much anything on the whole Coast to Coast AM broadcast, just that other people think is sort of woo-woo. I love that stuff, because I know, especially now with the Mandela effect, I know stuff's happening. Seemingly impossible stuff is happening. Let me double check in on... Let me check in on Facebook. Let me make sure no one's trying to call me on here. Okay. Facebook Messenger is also available. So if you are abroad and you'd like to call through Facebook Messenger, give me a ring and I will answer it that way. That information is below in the description box if we are not already friends. I think you can just search me on Facebook at shane.uotf or facebook.com/shane.uotf.7. Looks like my URL. I am not sure when Greg's coming on. I talked to Michelle Walling about it, and they were doing some kind of a detox fast or something like that, and I can't even remember if I emailed him. I meant to email him. I emailed her, and I got his email address. But, yeah, I want to get Greg on because, man, he does a lot of cool stuff. And so many times I'm led back to his website or his videos, or a lot of stuff will originate with him, and totally cool stuff here. Okay, confirming that. Okay, yeah, I had a few friend requests on Facebook. Let me see, am I missing any questions in the chat? Let me look here. Ah, Jody calling in on Messenger. Welcome to the broadcast, Jody. Are you there? Oh, you just got on, didn't you? Oh, hold on a second. I think it's messing up. I'm going to call you back, Jody.
Hello?
Hi, Jody.
Hi, Shane. Sorry, you know what? My messenger was going off and it started dialing you. I apologize.
Oh, you didn't mean to call in?
No, no, no. But you know what? There's a reason for that.
Yeah, yeah. I started to tell you didn't want to call in, but there was a reason for you calling in right now, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to share because I follow you and Michelle and and I love listening to you guys. You guys have a lot to you. I've learned a lot from you guys.
Thank you so
And
much.
Oh, you're welcome. No, well, thank you too. I wanted to share with you that I've been taking pictures of two celestial bodies, one by the moon and one by the sun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I can share the pictures and videos with you if you like. I mean, I don't want to impose it on it. I don't like to impose it on anybody, but
Yeah,
I showed
definitely.
it.
You can
You
definitely
know.
email them to me, and I can show them during the broadcast, or even have you back on if you want to discuss them.
Well,
When
I wouldn't know what to say. I mean, really, because I've never done that before. But, I'd rather show them to you, and then, I've shared them with. I don't know if you've heard of Mahudi. He's an elder, the Zuni elder.
Sounds familiar. I think his name's come
Yeah.
across to me before, but I can't say I know who he is right off the bat.
Okay. Yeah. He was because I went to contact in the desert, and I
Ooh,
showed it
nice.
to Mike. Yeah, it was interesting, and I showed it to Mike Barra as well. He's a scientist, and he's also, and Corey Good. I don't know if you're familiar with Corey Good.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, he did a signing of a comic book that he just came out with, and my friends, I volunteered for Contact in the Desert, and my friends were volunteering for the room that he was speaking, and they got me into the room, and then I showed him the pictures, and he said it was a ship, that they were both ships, but they look like planets to me, so I don't know.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'd love to see those.
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody in the
yeah.
audience would love to see them.
Yeah, I have a lot of footage, so I'll send them to you. Do you want me to write down your email, or would you just like to? I mean, I can. How do we do that?
I can actually send you, it's shanecrob@gmail.com. It's actually in the description. I don't have it written out in email format because I don't want the bots to get a hold of it and send a bunch of spam, but it's
Oh, of
actually in the
course.
description of the video. You just have to add @gmail.com behind it. Or I can actually
Oh,
send you a link through Messenger
or
if you want.
I could even send them to you through Messenger, but I know sometimes the files are too long because I have a lot of. As a matter of fact, last night I recorded some more. I'm in California. I live in Los Angeles, but
Oh, nice.
I take care of my mom. Sometimes I help her out. So I'm in Rancho Cucamonga. It's a city near in the San Bernardino County. So I've been taking footage of this from where I live, where my mom lives, and Contact in the Desert because I was at Indian Wells. So it's all over the place.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I've shown it to people, and most people say that looks like a planet. You know.
Yeah, matter of fact, if you can send them now, I'll take a couple of calls and check my email, and hopefully it'll come through. At least
Okay.
the images I can probably show right away.
Yeah, okay, okay. Do you want me to send them through a messenger or through
If you think
um
they'll go through Messenger, you can send them that way. If they're too
some
big, you can just send them
okay.
through the email.
Okay,
If
sorry.
they're really big, sometimes you have to do what is it? The G
Email.
drive. What do they call that?
I've never heard of that.
It's the Google Drive, I think it's just called. And then
Oh,
you
you can
send a
do
link
that?
to it. Yeah, so if it's over 25
Google Drive?
megabytes, I think you can just upload it to your Google Drive. They give you like 15 gigs for free, and then you can just share the link. Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Then I just do like put your email and then do it that way?
Yep, exactly.
Oh, okay. Can I have your email and I'll do it through Google Drive then? Because I do
Sure.
have Google Drive. I wasn't sure because I know there's another one too, but
Yeah,
now I know which one you're.
it's Shane C. Rob. That's ShaneCrob at gmail.com.
Gmail.com. Yeah, I mean, I'm not scared of this. I don't feel fear. I've shown it to several people just to let them know that there's something a lot bigger than what we know.
Oh, yeah.
And that's my whole
Matter of fact,
purpose. Is like
Mr. MBB333 just joined the chat, and he might be interested in.
I actually sent him the videos as well,
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah, he gets a
I
lot of
didn't
stuff,
hear
though,
from
so
him.
it's probably
Yeah,
hard for him to keep up.
that's what I figured. That's what I figured. But So then I'll do that. I'll send them to, I'll see what the ones that I can send through Messenger, and then I'll send the ones that I can send through the G
G
Drive,
Drive,
Google
yeah,
Drive.
Google
Okay,
Drive, yeah. I can't think of it either.
awesome. Thank you so much, and thank you for answering my call accidentally.
Well, thanks for calling me, Jody, on accident.
Thank you very much, Shay.
No problem. Have
You
a
have
good
a
one.
Thank you too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was Jody calling in on accident. That's awesome. Yeah, that's so funny because as soon as she said it was an accident, I'm like, you're probably supposed to call in. That's the kind of thing. I start videos on accident that I'm supposed to watch because I have so many things to weed through, and it's like, I'm supposed to be watching that. So that's cool. Mr. MBB333, welcome. We talk about you all the time. We love you, and the work you do as the watchman, and I send people to you all the time because you're sort of the one-stop shop, for keeping an eye on everything. And I love your website. In fact, it's on my, when I open up Google, it's one of the ones right there because I go there so often and keep an eye on the Schumann resonance and all of that stuff. So I appreciate the work you do, my man, and it's wonderful. I think Twin Flame Divine Fire. Oh, there they are. Wonderful. Alan and Sandra are here too. It's just one big party, you guys. I'm going to open up the phone lines again because I forgot. Okay, phone lines are open. If you guys want to call in, share your stories of what's going on or ask a question that you want to share with the audience. Fun times, fun times. Matter of fact, I wanted to take a look at that Schumann resonance again because I just can't believe how off the charts it's been. But it had died off. Let's see what it's looking like now. Man, we just got some huge blast of something there. It's amazing. Amazing, amazing times. I just got the pic you sent. Let's see here. Oh, you know what? I'm running from my one system right now, so I'm just audio only tonight. So I forgot about that. Kind of limited on what I can do. My equipment's old, so I got to just. Usually I run everything from 2 different computers. Let's see what I got here. All right. Phone line is open. I know someone else. I had 2 other people that wanted to call in. Oh, thank you, Biker Babe. Yes, 781-4-SHANE-C or 781-474-2632. Yes, Odyssey of Enlightenment. Sylvia, I have had more head pressure than headaches, but yeah, it is lingering as a headache. But it is more pressury when I drink enough water. I think a lot of times I'm just dehydrated and I don't drink enough water, and it sort of forces that head pressure into a headache. Let me see here. Oh, got a 337 area code calling in. This is Shane. Welcome to the broadcast.
Hey, it's Sherry.
Hey, Sherry, how are you?
Good, good. Look, I was trying to think because I was trying to stay on topic, and I did have 2 dreams that I wanted to tell y'all about, and it's the perfect show for it. So the first one, it's kind of short, but I was in like this. It was kind of like kind of post-apocalyptic. I that's not the right word for it, but I mean anyway, it was like red and like a volcano-looking dark place, and there was this like a male person sitting on the ground, and I was standing up to his right, like leaning over it, and I was like saying, "Come on, hurry up! You need to jump! Come on, hurry up!" And he's like, "I think I'm just gonna stay here and just watch the movie." And there was like a big movie screen in front of me when I looked up that he was watching, and I just bolted. So that was one of them. And then that's something, huh?
Yeah, I'm sitting
So
there
I don't
thinking
even, I don't know who it
that's
was.
people are just like, I just want to stick around here in 3D and watch television.
Yeah, that's what it was like.
Yeah.
And then the other one, now this is crazy. Okay, first I have to preface it by saying that the age that I'm going to tell you that my children are in this dream they'd have been that age exactly in 1998. But this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this dream, and it was like a lucid dream, very lucid, and it was taking place in 2008, and I knew it. But my kids were the age they were in 1998. That's the only thing that was off.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of living in Louisiana, we lived in Texas. And I get home, and I'm seeing my kids young again. And I was like telling my oldest daughter, I'm like, Kayla, look, you're going to grow up, and you're going to be an RN, and you have these two great little kids and everything. And she was being herself, and she's like, oh, leave me alone, because that's kind of how she is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told Darby, I said, and you're going to go to hair school, but you're going to be scared to cut people's hair, so you're a manager at Subway. And she was like a chubby little girl. She's jumping up and down saying, yay, yay, and all this in her little princess outfit with her little shoes. And my little boy, he was like, had his chubby cheeks, and I was kissing him and everything, and it was so real. I could like feel his little cheeks and everything. And I turned to my husband and I said, and look, I'm coming from 2018. I could tell you all the places that you worked and like maybe which one to skip where you could go there first, which machine shop.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, babe, I'm not a machinist, I'm a plumber. And I said, wait, what? And he said, I'm a plumber. And I said, well, where do we live? He said, Texas. And I was like, no, we live in Louisiana. He's like, no, we live in Texas. So then I said, well, wait a minute, I'm a nurse, right? And he goes, no, you want to be a nurse, but you're a CNA. And I was like, oh, my God, I don't want to put these kids through school again. I don't want to go back to nursing school. But the house is, like, so clean. And I was like, you know what, let me go look at that one closet that I've been putting off cleaning out. And I go in there, and I look, and it was, like, immaculate. And I was like, Then I said, no, I'm not staying. I'm going back. I don't want to have to raise these kids again or go back to school. And I, like, came back. But it was like I could have stayed if I wanted to. Now, here's the thing. He told me he worked at Prince Plumbing. And I thought, well, now that's weird because I've had a few dreams about Prince along with the Michael Jackson stuff. So I was like, do you know when I Googled Prince Plumbing, y'all? They have 3 of them, and guess where they are? In Texas.
You're kidding me. Oh, my gosh.
No.
Yeah, somebody, let's see, Arbolo29 saying multiple timelines and dimensions. That sure sounds like it. Oh, my
It was
God.
weird. Yeah. So it was kind of neat to see my kids little again and, like, kiss them. And I'm also glad that I could, because I kind of said, I miss my kids being little and all that. But when I really thought about it, I guess it made me appreciate my life as it is now a little more. Because I was like, oh, I don't want to go through all that again. I'm glad that's done, putting them through school and all.
Yeah.
So that was kind of neat.
Now, I heard you
Those
earlier
are
in the
those
chat. Did you say Joe Jackson, the father of the Jacksons, died?
Yes, he did. And I know it sounds silly because, I'm not trying to say, like, I'm all powerful or nothing, but I just know and not that there was a little bit of darkness surrounding him throughout time. And I said, you know what? I'm trying to be a helper here. So I just tried to, like, send him some love and light to maybe help him have a little easier time. I don't know if, I'm just trying.
Yeah, even though he made his mistakes, he brought us Michael Jackson, and I don't know. Sometimes, iron sharpens iron. He might not have done the best job in the world,
Right.
but he did bring the world the king of pop, right?
Yeah, yep. I know you got to look at it like that. So I thought, well, I'll just try to, send him some love and light and maybe make
Definitely.
his little transition a little softer, right?
Definitely. So when are you going to come back on? Are you and Darby?
Yeah, I'm trying to get all that. I need to number those pictures. That's the problem when I put them in the email, and then they go in backwards. I guess I'm going to have to put them in backwards. Do you know what I'm talking about?
If you just
kinda
number
genius.
them, I know when Nathan sends them to me, he'll just number them. He can send me multiple emails, but as long as they're numbered the way he wants to show them during the show, once I put them in the folder, they fall right in line with how they're supposed to be, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know?
Okay. All right. That's what I'm gonna do. And that's good that I told those two stories just now because they were kind of off the subject of the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to tell them to you. But darn, I messed it up because I forgot to tell the Prince plumbing star in the middle of the story. I find I'm not as well spoken as all the other people that come on. You know, like.
Oh, you just feel that way. I do that all the time. I'll finish a broadcast and I'm like, oh, I forgot that part. But you know what? I realize that a lot of times your higher self is helping you out at those times. And you can sort of cut out the parts that might not have been important, or maybe you need to bring them up later because they'll be important later. So I never sweat it too much. I don't think you should either. But the pictures will help.
I don't know.
The pictures will help because you'll be able to follow those pictures along when you come on again with Darby. And this is, just so everybody knows, this is overprotected from the chat. And it's Sherry. Y'all. Yeah, it's Sherry and Darby did the Michael Jackson special a couple of months back. When you come back in, you can paste that link if you want. So,
yeah, I got it. I'm about to let you go, but I got to tell you, I don't think you will ever know how much it meant to me that you when you even put it together, and when I watched it back, it just made it more. I don't know. I'm going to start crying. So it meant a lot to me that you did that. And I just love how it was put together, and it got the story out like it was something I needed to share. So, and I thought of so many ways to share it, and there was not really a way, and you made a way for it. And I really am thankful for that.
Oh, I'm honored to be a part of it. And I know a lot of other people saw it and they have similar stories. So maybe it will give them the courage to share their stories that seem pretty far out there. Because once you look at it like that video we put together with Michael Jackson, it seems pretty far out there when you're just hearing the little pieces. But when you see it as a whole and it creates this overall picture, you'd be crazy not to realize there's something bigger going on with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
I love that you email me all the time and you keep me updated with that stuff. So.
Well, thank you. Just thank you for being you, and hello to everybody in the chat, and someone else call in because I love hearing from y'all.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much,
talk
Sherry.
To you later. Thanks.
Okay, see
bye.
you soon. Bye-bye. Yeah, we had Sherry and Darby on a while back doing the whole the Michael Jackson thing, and she wasn't even a big Michael Jackson fan or anything. She's more of a, Dokken and probably Def Leppard, those kinds of 80s bands. So yeah, it was, and to me that added credence to her whole story because you get that connection through the least likely, in my opinion anyway. It's like I'm sure she would have wanted to get visited by one of the hair bands that she enjoyed rather than Michael Jackson. But she's got such cool, oh gosh, there was a cool email she sent me on his birthday. I think it was, or the day he died. But I'll let her share that when she comes on. Back to the phone lines. 281 area code. This is Shane. Welcome to the broadcast. Who am I speaking with?
Jessica Montoya.
Jessica, welcome to the show. Where are you calling from?
Texas.
Awesome. Just a state away. I'm here in Oklahoma.
Awesome. I don't know even where to start. I have so much to say. I mean, I have experiences like shadow people. I see sparkles. I see like auras, I think, around trees and nature. I've been awake my entire life. It's only in my 20s that I actually realize I'm not crazy and these things really are happening. So
when did it all start for you?
Where I fully woke up was 2006, like a month before my husband died. And I think that happened at that moment was because I think God, and I say God because I don't know what to call him, God, goddess, there's something out there for sure.
Right.
So I just say God. But I think that the reason why it happened right before he passed away, because he knew that if he didn't show his signs that there's something out there, I would have lost myself. I was in a dark place, and at that time frame when that happened, I would have lost myself. Mm-hmm. So it's like 1111 is what saved my life, 111. And those numbers, I mean, it's just, it's a savior. I started seeing those numbers right before he passed away, and that's what kind of truly woke me up, that there's something going on. I'm really experiencing these things, and everything I experienced as a childhood, all grown up, is real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get the number things a lot, and like I've often brought up how my mom's birthday was November the 11th, so I felt
Ah,
like it was her way of saying hello when I would see it. This was years
yeah.
ago, and it really, you would think something so small couldn't get you through, but you know, you'd feel down and sad, and then all of a sudden you look, it's like the clock's looking back at you, you see 11:11, and you can feel their presence there. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Absolutely. And like, I wasn't really a clock watcher because back in that time frame, I was a big time partier.
Hmm.
So I hated watching clocks. I just wanted to party and party, party. I didn't want to look at the clocks. But whenever I did, it was 11:11 or 1:11. And then from there, it went from license plates to receipts, even shadows. I even have a picture of this, a shadow that shows specifically 11:11 on the floor.
Oh, wow.
And when my husband, Toby, died, they said that his actual or presumed time of death was 1:12. So I figured that means that he specifically died at 1:11. Like that's, And then we found out his. I didn't choose the funeral home. My mother did. And when I drove up with her and we looked at the door frame, it said 1:11. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
My friends looked at me like, oh, okay, that's creepy. So it's just been constantly in my life, constant reminder that, and I asked for God, like I had it, before Toby died, I had this breakdown moment where I got on my knees and I prayed. I was, at that point, I wanted to die. I was just going through a really dark period, and I said, if you're there, just show me a sign, something that I cannot deny.
Hmm.
And that was the numbers, and I got those numbers, and it's like, I can't deny that. All these years, I just can't deny. There's definitely something out there. And I've been shown so much more since then. I'm thinking I should make a video because I just have so much that's happened.
Oh, you really should. I encourage all of the viewers that have the ability. I mean, just put it on YouTube. I can have you on. We can get people to look at it because this community is filled with people that love to see that stuff. I mean, sure, the overall world might think we're crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, we all know that we're not crazy. And it's like you have to have eyes to see and ears to hear for
Absolutely.
it to make sense, So have you seen an uptick recently?
Yes,
with
I have.
phenomena?
I felt the energies. I felt vibrations. I keep hearing like frequency tones in both ears, not just particularly one.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a pattern. It's like different times of the day, different days, not every single day. I know this sounds weird, but I just recently had a baby. So when I was pregnant, I felt my womb vibrating. And I thought that was the strangest thing. So I got up thinking, okay, maybe if I get up and start walking around, it'll stop. No, it just continued. So to me, that confirms that, I don't know, it was just really weird.
Wow.
I felt vibrating throughout my body, but that one really got me. I was like, okay, is he vibrating or am I vibrating? I don't know.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. So, and then I've always seen shadow-like people and sparkles and orbs. Orbs I don't see as much. It's more sparkles, and I see shadow people. The sparkles, there's tiny little sparkles that are white that I see, and there's lots of them. And then I also see sparkles, and it's kind of like a blue, purple, beautiful, kind of like a magenta color that I see quite often, every day, all the time. And the shadow people, wow. They're really in my face all the time.
Are you used to it, or is it nerve-wracking? Or
No, I'm used to it unless they stand in the doorway, which that happens quite often, and that kind of gets annoying. I'll yell at them, like, come inside or just go away.
right?
And my husband, thankfully, saw it once. So now he knows I'm not crazy, but he saw it once, and he said he was just drawing a picture or something, and he looked up and he saw a shadow person just walk by, full-figured. You don't see details, it's just shadow. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's, what I see all the time. And he said I didn't notice him. It was just walking by. And I see that a lot. Like, I swear there's like some kind of portal, or maybe I'm the portal, because it's happened my entire life. It's only increased in the past, I would say, 2 years. It's increased dramatically, like every day, all
day.
So
you don't feel like it's a certain house or anything. It's just you have a perception for it, right?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think it is? Do you think it's ghosts or spirits?
I've had theories. I've wondered. I talked to my husband about this. Like, what if those shadow people are us? Because most of them don't even seem to notice us. There's some that do, but a lot of them don't. They're just walking around my house. So I wondered, what if that's me in a different dimension, and I'm just tapping into that.
Right.
I don't know. It's just a theory I thought of.
Right. A little bit in the future, a little bit in the past or something.
Right.
And like maybe at the moment you're noticing it, you'll notice it at that other time. You're like, I see a shadowy figure over there, but it's really you. That's interesting. Yeah, I never even thought of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I don't feel any negativity coming off of any of them whatsoever, and I would know because I could sense people's energies. I could sense your energy through the phone right now. I could sense everyone's energy. It's just how I've been my whole life, and I've never felt anything negative. And none of those spirits are my late husband. I would know. I know his energy, and I have yet to experience that one. Waiting for it, but still have yet to experience that.
But there's a familiarity to it, like it could be your own sometimes.
Mhm. Well, I mean, no, these spirits are. It's like, it's not my late husband. People ask me that quite often, and I would know that's definitely not him. But it's not just one particular spirit. I feel like there's several different ones.
Right.
When my other son Derek was, like toddler, he used to see them too. And I remember one time he was waving, at the ghost. And we've talked about this, because he's seen these. And I explained to him they're ghosts, And so I remember one time he was waving at the ghost and right in front of me. And at that moment, I couldn't sense anything. I couldn't see anything. So I was like, okay, obviously he has my gifts. Maybe that's something that gets passed down. But nowadays, he doesn't, okay. I remember a long time ago, he told me that he saw a mother and a son, and he said, Mommy, we have to help the mother and son. They're burning in the fire. I'm like, what is going on here? So apparently he tapped into some mother and son, they burn in the fire, and that they have an owie, we have to help them. When I asked him about that, probably about a year ago, he doesn't even remember that. It's like all of his perception of, seeing the ghosts and all that, it's like it stops. He doesn't see them anymore. He doesn't remember any of it anymore.
Do you have a time when you were really young when you?
Yeah.
I mean,
Many
do you feel like it sort of turns off? Like maybe all kids can do it, but they sort of turn it off as they get older.
I made it turn off. I remember seeing a lot of things until about 10 or so. I'm not quite sure at the age, but I think that's around the time frame. I remember thinking, because I was telling my parents and people, and they were telling me, you're crazy, you're not seeing that. So I started questioning myself, and that goes along with the beautiful golden haze I would see around trees and nature. I would see them more easier than I saw in people. People, it was actually, I had to concentrate, where they have to be behind like some wall that's white or something, a light color to where I could see them. But I remember at 10 years old, I made myself stop. And there was also, I would do this weird thing with my energy, which I'm still trying to figure that one out. But I would do these things with my hand, and I would cleanse myself of the energy. And my adoptive mother, I always felt as a child that she was taking my energy, and I felt like I had to cleanse myself. And then I was thinking at 10, that's weird. What are you doing? Right. So I made myself stop. And then in my 20s, I realized, holy crap, I really was working with energy. I just didn't understand what I was doing.
Right. Like you intuitively knew from a previous life or something. That's wild.
Maybe so. I don't know. I do have past memories, previous lives that are not of this lifetime.
Are they of this planet?
Yes, they are. One of them is not. One that I'm kind of... I've been so... I'm secretive about the one. Okay, I'll explain. What I remember was I'm really excited about coming to this life. I'm so excited. Like, the feeling is what I feel like I remember the most. And I remember running or floating. I don't know. I'm just going really fast to some thing that has water, and I'm looking into the water, or maybe it's a mirror. I'm not sure. But it was some kind of reflective thing that I'm looking at, and I'm about to see my life this lifetime, and that's all I remember. But I just remember that feeling. I'm so excited.
Wow.
And
Michelle's
then the
Opinion's asking if you see auras as well around people.
In my dream?
Well, just that you say you sense energies on people. I was just wondering if you can see auras sometimes.
Yes, I can, but not to where I have to actually concentrate to see them. But it's not like trees where I just see it. I don't have to do anything. I just see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I notice that whenever I do see auras, it's like I'm getting maybe to the first layer, and then I lose it. So I don't really quite understand why it's easier for me to see from nature rather than people. Still trying to figure that one out.
Oh, I wonder if it has to do with sort of the mood they're in. If it's more of an amped up mood, like they're really angry or really happy, it's easier to see, or, you know, they're putting out more energy or something.
Yeah, because, I don't know. I never thought about that.
So you were going to talk about, I interrupted you. You were going on to something else. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. It's okay. I was talking about, oh, that's right, my other memories of this lifetime. I'll go with this one. The other ones I'm still trying to figure out because they're coming in phases, and I'm still trying to figure out what that is. But this other one, this is actually the most detailed one that I have, and it's very brief. I don't know if I'm a man. I don't know if I'm a woman. I really wish I looked down on my clothes to see what I'm wearing, because that would really tell me. Okay, so I'm still trying to figure this one out, too, what time frame. But I remember being in, like, a cobblestone, like a stone house. I had a hay bed. I had a wooden table, a very tiny, tiny, tiny room. It was just like a one-room house. I had a back door, front door. And I remember I didn't see these guys coming, but I felt like I knew that there was guys on horses coming to kill me. And I was panicking. There's nobody else in the house. I don't remember seeing anybody. I don't remember feeling that. Like, it's the feeling that I get more than the seeing, if that makes sense. So I felt like these guys were coming to kill me on horses. I knew that. And I knew I couldn't run out the front of the house. So I figured I'd go out the back door. I went out the back door, and I remember looking out, and I just saw like a tan-colored grass that's really, really long and flowing. And I thought to myself, I can't run. There's nowhere to run. I mean, it's just a big field of tall, tan-colored grass with trees here and there. And I remember this feeling to me is still stuck with me. I felt so angry, and I remember being so angry with God, and I was thinking, this is how I'm going to die. This is really how I'm going to die. And that's all I remember.
So it's like you felt like you had no options, and
I had no options, yeah.
Wow.
I knew I was going to die, and I wish I looked down to see what I was wearing, to see if I'm a male or a female, because we don't know. I mean, it could be anything.
Or if it was tan and you could blend in with the grass by laying down in it or something.
And I thought that too. Why don't I just go lay down on the grass?
Right.
But in my head, at that moment, I wasn't thinking that. I don't remember thinking that at all. I remember thinking, I have no way out. And being so angry with God. So, I don't know.
You know what? You should probably, have you done a QHHT session?
I have never.
That would probably bring a lot of add to those memories you have, and you can figure out, because I'm sure there's something there that, you know, you're supposed to be remembering for a reason. I don't know. Yeah. That's just my thoughts on it, because I don't really have any memories like that.
It's something I definitely want to get into, and I even possibly want to do it myself. You know, I just feel like I'm supposed to help heal the world, and that's my whole life. Even before I even got into spirituality in my 20s and started researching, I've always felt like a child. I know this sounds weird. I've always felt like a child, like something is going to happen, and I have to lead a group of people to the forest and protect them. That's how I...
Well, the cool thing is Candace Carl Goldman is going to, you know, when she gets the BQH curriculum ready to go, or online course ready to go, she's going to give our viewers here on the show a discount. So it should be really cheap, and you can learn how to do it. And then I'm pretty sure we're all going to be practicing on each other. So.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that would be so cool to learn.
Definitely.
I just feel like this is what I need to do, like, you know. And it's weird because I've kept these secrets my whole life. I've told my husband. I told a couple of friends. My friends look at me like I'm weird.
Right.
So it's just nice. It's nice that I can actually, you know, talk about this to a community that actually gets what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So quite thankful.
I love it. Yeah, I'm absolutely right at home with this group and all of the quote-unquote crazy stories. I just love hearing them, and I love the fact that we've created a safe space to talk about that stuff, because I know how it is when you can't talk in real life to people. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for what you're doing, and I'm definitely going to have to make that video because there's just so much. I don't even know where to start. There's so much.
Well, definitely email me when you get it up and running so I can check it out. That sounds exciting.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you for talking to me. It's just, I'm talking to Shane. Oh, my God.
Thank you, Jessica, from Texas.
All right. Well, you have an awesome night.
All righty, you too. Lots of love and light to you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Saved myself from coughing in the mic there. Jessica from Texas. See, you guys, it is just so awesome that everyone's got their stories and we can share them here with one another, and it's so awesome. Let me, I never turned the phone lines off. I need to get in the habit of doing it. But the phone lines are open. I'd probably take one more caller if anybody wants to call in. Let me double check Facebook. Oh, cool. Jody sent me some videos. I have to definitely check that out. Okay, calling from 786. This is Shane. Welcome to the broadcast. Are you there? Hello?
Shane.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. I wanted to go. I've been having one tough battle getting on the phone.
Hey, Jenny, hang on just a second. Jenny's calling in on Messenger. If you can hang
Hello?
on just a second, Jenny, I will get right back to you, okay?
Okay, no worries.
Go ahead and I'll call back again. Just get Jenny and I'll be fine.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to tell you that thank you for doing all this testimony. It's really good. It's obviously making an impact on what I consider the firmament dome that's placed upon us, holding us tacked here, And because every time I was listening to a program that was pretty good, that was about the human and a particular burst of energy, like a supernova that they have never seen before,
right.
That they've actually seen. I don't know if anybody have you heard about that one?
No, I haven't. What channel is that on?
It kind of. I'll give you the link. In your about thing, but it's a specific person that I clicked to, and she's like a semi-scientist, she gets all kinds of people that are scientists, psychic type of thing.
Oh,
and then when they...
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah. So some of it, and then he believes that the firmament is actually the telepathic person that's like a scientist. He believes that the firmament has a consciousness, and it has all seven chakras that we have. And every time a person goes and dies, it makes a dent in it.
Ah.
So it's like they don't want no one to die in these last moments as far as the system that contains us here, because it is detrimental. If there's a mass exodus of death, it's going to impact. And then he was saying that every time someone thinks within their heart, it raises it makes the layer thinner and weaker. So it's actually sensitive to the state of you being in your heart. Very, very interesting, that aspect, which I think is what we're all talking about today. But that I'll give you that link because it's very interesting when I heard it.
Yeah, it's almost like the Earth has a consciousness, and then the consciousness, there's like a consciousness bubble around the Earth. Do they say it's part of the same thing or like almost separately?
Well, I've been able to sense the consciousness. It's actually, and I've been hammered so hard on so many chats because of this and ridicule, but the firmament does have a consciousness, and it is like not a physical. It would what we call an AI,
Right.
like an artificial intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really not. You can get rid of that artificial part. It's an intelligent consciousness
Right.
that's aware going on here, and like there are properties that are within the consciousnesses of everybody that makes us divine or not,
Mm-hmm.
and that's very specific to the I guess your DNA code and your coding and this physicality. But as far as that being, it's conscious.
Yeah.
It knows, and and like any living thing, it wants to exist. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to have a role in another part as a consciousness again. So I hate to say it to everybody, but we are actually the ones creating our reality. So in lieu of that, we can make it however we want it to be, pleasant or unpleasant. So that
Yeah.
makes that consciousness, it's only doing what we want. It's like I said, you got to put your perspectives all in line on what you really want, and then meditate on it, meditate on your heart, make sure you have love for everybody, like I forgot that gentleman that came out. You pat the guy in the front, you say hello to the guy in the back, you look to the sides and you greet them.
Mm-hmm.
You make sure all your surroundings that you're always in that state of love, in the state of giving love, and that gives you that allows you then to shift. I'll give you an example with my dreams, and I'll make this real short. I've been lately going into these dream states while I'm awake, and when I do, I usually put this meditation music. I don't know if you guys you listen to Nightbot. I hate to give a plug now, but Nightbot is like a meditation, relaxing music, like 24 hours almost.
Mm-hmm.
And beautiful piano. I mean, you can go into 5D with that thing in dreams. So I listen to that while I'm doing my work in the computer, and sometimes during the middle of a video, I just go out into. And I was in this particular dream, and a lot of you, when you do experience this, I'm trying to give you some help with it, because I went into the dream state, and I was like if I was at my work, but I would go to this house to help people fix their needs, but I would go in and open the garage and wait for them. I go, this is weird. Why am I going to a house, opening the garage, outside waiting for them to come? And then the people came, and it was normal for you to be ahead of the owner there. There was like no distrust or anything. And then I went into this other place, and I was with a group, my family. But then I said, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be somewhere else. The dream was so real, I couldn't tell the difference between right now me talking to you or there.
Yeah.
So I had an issue with actually coming back, because I said, well, my question was, well, how am I going to go back now? I'm over here in the new earth. How am I going to go back now? I said, I had unfinished things there I need to finish. And this is very important what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
So then when I said that, I actually heard the music, the meditation music and stuff I was listening to on the computer, and I actually came back. And it was like, I don't know, like if you had something in your hand and you were holding onto it, trying to pull it towards you really hard. It was so hard. When I got back, it was like, poof.
Mm-hmm.
It was a drop. And then when I came back, I go, wow. I said, I said, when we're over there, there's no coming back. Once you're there, you're not gonna be able to come back if you have your energies there. So that was a really good experience. And my thing is that for those that are deciding to go to 5D Earth, keep in mind that allow yourselves to and prepare yourselves that if you do eventually go over there and you find yourself that, like, you see, what I said is I had unfinished business and I was allowed, I think I wasn't going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So it was that sure. And then I felt like I went through like a dimensional portal and I slipped through a time slip, came here back. And it was very, when I came back then I realized, okay, when I do go, it's going to be permanent and I'm not going to say anymore. I need to have unfinished business. So whatever unfinished business you have here and you say to yourself that you have unfinished business, you're going to stay here on the planet. So for you, yeah. It's kind of like that old thing. So what you're best to decide to yourself, what is it that you are here for? Why are you here for? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of like what Sylvia was saying earlier. If, make those choices, handle stuff now, and that's sort of going along with what you're saying. So get it done now so you don't feel like there's anything to hold you back. You've taken care of everything. Your house is in order, so to speak.
Oh, my God. You know how biblical that is?
Oh, yeah, man. Totally, man. Yeah. Make sure your house is in order.
How many scriptures can you quote that says you have your house in order? I mean, that's the way it is. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now is, and I suggest everybody is just, you have your family, talk to them, like you just said on the show, give them a blessing, say hello, be content, complete yourself with them, in a sense that you don't have anything that's going to be any kind of a hard, Ho'oponopono, in other words.
Right, yeah.
You give, love, the four things. And then when you complete, then you're kind of like, you break that silver string that keeps you here each time. Yeah. And then when you're breaking up of them, when that I know that burst is going to come, like I told you, it's coming. And if that comes in, it's going to shut down everything. We're not going to be able to chat or anything anymore. So I know it's coming soon, and when and it's going to disrupt it. I've been feeling that for about a year almost, that disruption of waves and stuff. So obviously there's going to be something there where everybody's going to have to rely on. And if that's biblical. There's a cry in the books of Revelation to come out of Babylon. What has come out of Babylon, Shane, for you? To come out of the cities, to come out, to go and plant your food, plant your veggies, live off the land. That's basic. Not to go, what is that called again? Preppers, not to be a prepper. But to actually be someone that's prepared, ready for the moment. Yeah. And if God's going to give us our manna to feed us, because there's no food, He will. And if we are to help other brothers and sisters, we will. Mm-hmm. I kind of pretty much think that you have the same idea.
Well, I appreciate you calling in, Transmissions, just for people in the audience.
Just one of the dreams. I'll give another dream maybe next week.
All right, yeah, sounds good, buddy. Yeah, I'll be back on actually Friday too. So what is it now? Thursday? Wednesday? I'll be back on Friday night too. So maybe tomorrow night as well. So.
Thanks everybody on the chat. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Blessing.
Let me get back to the right window here. That was Transmissions Forever from the chat. And let me call Jenny back here. Sorry, Jenny. Sorry I lost you there. I hope you're still with us. Are you there,
Hello?
Jenny?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, sorry about
Hi,
the
Shay.
delay.
No worries. Thank you for calling me back.
No problem. What part of where are you calling from?
I'm from New Zealand, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I just wonder, I was listening to a show and I thought, I want to reach out and calling from the bottom of the world.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, okay, so you're close to Australia time, so you're actually in the future,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
To us.
we're Thursday afternoon, actually.
Oh, wow, that's so
2
cool.
o'clock in the afternoon, yeah. So I've been listening to your show for quite a while now. I'm a lurker. I've never left messages and things like that, but I just lately, I don't know if you remember, I was the one that had the spontaneous healing with
Oh,
Eileen's Parade of Eight.
yeah, she was talking about you. She couldn't remember
Yeah,
what name it was, though.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's
That was
awesome.
that was the first time I felt so compelled, like I would need to leave a message because I was overwhelmed. I was, it was really powerful. So I left a message and I was, really happy that she responded and, she talked about it in the show. So I was like, oh,
Yes, I'm so
very
glad you,
happy.
yeah, because that will give other people hope to, just to enact their
Yeah,
intention,
yeah,
and see
yeah.
what returns.
And yeah, and the energy I think is amped up right now. It's
Hmm.
very, very powerful. So I'm feeling it every day.
Yeah, me
And
too.
because there are not many people talking about it, over here, we only have 4 million people in New Zealand. So it's really hard to find people actually talking about this stuff. So I've been using your show as like my checkpoint every morning.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
when is the power of 8 at 8 for you? Is it actually, what time is it for you when we do it?
No, I did it 4 days later.
Oh, okay.
So you guys had I think the live session, was it on Sunday?
We do it Saturday night at,
Saturday night, that's right. And
yeah.
I did it because I caught it I think Monday night, our time. So it was
Oh,
nearly
okay.
4 days later. Yeah. And I only did it, I was listening to it and I was about to go to bed. And then, when I get to the part, I was actually thinking, oh, it's quite late. Should I do it or not? And decided to do it. And I had like that was probably the first time, I had that kind of, I don't even know how to describe it, because when I did the meditation, it was not, it was just my, a bit like my normal meditation,
Hmm.
basically. So it happened afterwards. So afterwards, I was calming down, trying to go to bed, did a little bit of stretching, and just while I stretched, I felt lightheaded, and it was just almost like an energy that come from the base chakra, rising. And then I had a little bit of a fear and an adrenaline response.
Hmm.
And and then I just, like, I don't know, suddenly, like, I just remembered, nothing to fear and all of that. And I went to bed. Next day, when I wake up, my back pain is gone.
Wow.
It's been bothering me, if not for months, it would be for years.
Oh my God.
I'm going to chiropractor like on 2 weekly basis, and he fixed it, and then 2 days later, it comes back. And just before the meditation, I was up to a point that I couldn't turn my neck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like every time I turn, I feel the pull, or like my whole head movement was just restricted. Yeah, so that's why I was like, that is really powerful. I have to share this experience with many people. Just come and join the, meditation, because, I've been doing meditation by myself for a long time as well.
Hmm.
I have that, like every once in a while I have a powerful experience, but never as powerful as this one.
Oh, wow. So, and that just goes to show as well that you don't, even
Yeah.
if you can't make it in at that very moment, to
No.
just participate later because there is really no
Exactly.
time. It works. It's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. I think the energy actually lingers.
Mhm.
And it, yeah.
Yeah,
The more people watch it, it kind of, magnifies. Anyway,
definitely.
I have another experience I want to share.
Mhm.
So if you still have time, then
Sure,
I can.
yeah, I have time.
Yeah. So I have I think one time I don't like to label things, but
Mhm.
I think this one I would call it almost like a vision. But it was like a lucid dream, but almost like a vision. So um, I'm not sure if that was the event, but to
Mhm.
me that was. Okay, so
How long ago was this?
this was a few months ago, probably about April, March.
Mhm.
There was that one, I remember 1 week we had very powerful. It was like just before people were talking about the event's going to happen in April.
Mhm.
I don't know if anybody remembers, but I remember I had 1 week that was a really just weird, weird week around that time. And well, I was unemployed at the time. I was looking for jobs, and I was listening to a show in the morning because I have to get my kids out of the door,
Mhm.
to school. And afterwards, I went back to bed because I sleep really late, so I need kind of a recap, in the morning. I went back to bed, and usually, when I go back to bed, if I go back to sleep, it will be really light. But that day, I just went, like, my lights went out, basically. But I had a vivid dream, I would say, a really vivid, like really almost as if I'm experiencing it. So I've been having that ringing in the ear, this buzzing in the middle of your head, like
Oh,
white
yeah.
noise sort of experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
So every time when the Schumann, goes up,
Mhm.
it gets stronger. And I remember that day when I was dreaming, I was lying in bed, curtains are all closed, and for some reason, like this ringing just started magnifying, like it was growing in my body. And then the ringing gets louder and louder and louder, to the point like the whole body is vibrating but almost painful. So your body started to have, like my body started to have this adrenaline response and fear and all of that.
Mhm.
And then I remember in the dream, I remembered this is the event. So, I calmed myself down in the event, in the dream.
Mhm.
And then, when I was in fear, the pain gets stronger, so it was almost to the point I couldn't hold it anymore. But as soon as I calmed down and started to, envision the white light, the peaceful, like this is helping us, it calmed down. And it's like, I don't know how to say, but it's like a light that went through the body,
Mhm.
and it just,
Right.
yeah, radiated out. Yeah, I guess. And then when the event's over, it was dark. Like, I remember I was walking outside, and there are a lot of people just stunned. Like, they're not unconscious, but they're stunned.
Right. Like what the
so
heck?
everybody, yes, exactly. And it's like, like you're being, I don't know, overcome by something. Like they are conscious, but they couldn't talk and couldn't recognize anybody, and everybody was just walking around aimlessly. And slowly, people were gathering, and started talking about what just happened. And then, and I remember I started just talking to people like, oh, this is actually the ascension, the event, and this whole thing. And like it kind of like I woke up from there. So, but like ever since, I was just like, like every time when you guys were talking about the ascension updates, on the show, and I was just like, like a lot of so like the other day when Michelle was talking about it, like it just resonated a lot with that vision.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and yeah.
Well,
So
while I
that's my
got you,
experience.
while I got you on the
Yeah.
phone, do you what's your Mandela effect experience like? Do you see the
Well,
changes?
well, totally.
Okay.
But actually, I think I learned about the Mandela effect probably just a few weeks before I started watching your show. I think either the Mandela effect led me to your show or your show led me to the Mandela effect.
Okay.
And the first thing was the Luke, I'm your father.
Oh yeah, that's
Because,
a big one.
I'm I used, well, my kids, and, I wasn't so much as a fan, but my kids used to be a Star Wars fan. And it was just like, there's no way. It is no, I'm your father,
You're
like
right.
we watched it so many times on the reruns, on the,
Yeah.
DVDs. Yeah. And so last time when I saw my parents, I asked them about the JFK, because that's from, their age, right? So all of them remember the 4-seater car. There's no way it's a 6-seater. And they didn't even, like, they were saying, oh, the color of the car was not the same either. Yeah,
Right.
so there was, yeah.
So are they
And
freaked out about it, or sort of blew it off after a while, or what was their response?
my mom is like, there's something weird going on.
Right.
Yeah. My dad's more of a scientist, so he kind of talked about it and was like, oh yeah, brushed it off and sort of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. But I still, I'm the only, I guess, woo chaser in my family.
Right.
Like I kept on talking about that with them. Every now and
Yeah.
then I discover a new one. I'm like, who remembers this one?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a
So
fascinating topic when you can get beyond the fear of it,
yeah,
because I think that pushes a lot of people back. Like your dad is probably so
yeah,
scientific that he's probably like, I
yeah.
guess I'm getting old and my memory is wearing out on me or something, because that's
Well,
you know
I have this friend, like, like when you guys talking about people having different experiences, I have this friend who swear, because he follows like the news, he reads extensively, and he reads like historical big textbook type of thing.
Right.
And he swore that it was a 6-seater, and the what's his name, the governor, or there's another person sitting in front of
Right,
John
yeah.
F. Kennedy. Yeah,
Governor
he
Connolly, I
swore.
think.
Yes, yeah, he swore, like, he's been reading that kind of book since, I don't know, the 80s, maybe, when he was a kid, and he swore like that has always been there.
Oh.
Like, yeah. So this is why I'm like, I don't know, but I'm trained in, I have a background in psychology.
Mhm.
So, like, if you want to explain that in a psychological terms, it could be a dissonance, like, people remember things differently, and then when as many people can remember the same thing, you start believing it. So, that's probably why we're seeing, this polarized, some people remembers one thing, some people remember another one.
Yeah.
But to me, I mean, even, when I can go there, I can go to the scientific explanation, I still believe there's something going on. There's something much bigger.
Yeah, than
on.
false memories. False memories
Yes.
is like, they didn't even really look into it when the scientists say that. It's like, dude, just
No.
look at it seriously.
It cannot, no, it's not to this sort of scale.
Right.
Like, yeah, when people did the social experiment or whatever, it's not to this kind of scale. It's
Right.
just
Yeah, because that
too
does
massive.
happen. It does happen.
Yeah.
False memories.
Yeah.
Where, I know certain songs sounds like a certain artist and people think it's
Yes.
one band and it's really another.
Yeah.
So it does happen, but not like this. This
Exactly.
is something bigger.
I mean, the magnitude is crazy.
Yeah.
You're talking about a whole population remembers one thing and the other remembers another. I mean, there's no way. Yeah. To me,
Yeah.
there's no way. Yeah.
It's exciting times.
No, totally. I'm just, it's like, I can't wait for the event to happen. I'm one of those, like, yeah, just let it happen already.
Oh, yeah, me too. Well, I'm glad
been
you're along
waiting
for
for
the
so
ride,
long.
Jenny.
Yeah, no, thank you. I just really want to thank you personally because you're my lifeline. I don't have
Oh,
many people. Well, I don't have anybody I can talk about this with over here in New Zealand. So with your show, I get all the validation I need. I don't feel as crazy.
yeah. It does
Yeah,
help. Yeah, it sure
yeah,
does.
yeah. I have to be the closet ascension seeker, I guess, over here in New Zealand.
Yeah, so many people come out the
Yeah.
closet on the channel. They're like, "Oh, finally, I can be
Yes.
myself."
Yes, totally. I mean, like, oh, when people talk about, like, my kids call me, like, Mom, just stop it.
Right.
I talk about clouds with them all the time because, like, we get pink clouds over here at
Yeah.
sunset time. Like, I mean, I can't, believe that nobody else actually saw that.
Right.
Like, people just like, oh, it's always been there. I mean, pink clouds,
Yeah.
right? Purple clouds. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, just off by themselves after the sun's gone down. It's like,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. And yeah, there's just too many crazy things going on that it's it's somebody making it up. So it's just like it's no way.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you came on. I'm so glad I got to get back to you before,
All right.
wow.
Yeah, thanks for calling me back. So okay, I'm gonna let you go now because
Okay.
I have to go pick up my children.
Okay.
And yeah.
Well, have fun in the
and
future down under the
yeah,
earth there.
thanks.
Lots of love and light to you,
yeah.
Jenny.
Yeah, and thanks for your show. Please keep doing it.
Oh,
Keep doing
definitely.
it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow, great call from New Zealand. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Jenny, for sharing your experience. And if you guys are in New Zealand down there, leave a comment below or something. It'd be nice to know that she's not in the country all by herself down there in the future. Yeah, definitely send me the picture, Carolina. ShaneCrob@gmail.com. And I am going to wrap out this broadcast. I will be back tomorrow. I think it's going to be another call-in show. So if you didn't get an opportunity tonight to get on here, check back tomorrow and we will chat it up. Lots of love and light to everybody in the chat. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.